Morning, AP Psych students. I just wanted to stop by and say hello to you guys today. I hope you had a good weekend. My heart goes out to you guys. Obviously, this is a very tough time and not the way that any of you wanted to end your senior year. I promise you will get through this, but I understand in the meantime, it can be difficult, and I'm sure everybody's got to cope in their own way. I said, I'm here for you guys, offer any help. My job continues to be to try to get you guys to the finish line here with the AP Psych exam, which is a month from tomorrow. And so one of the things I wanted to start doing is giving more feedback. So I apologize, I haven't been more forthcoming with that so far when it comes to the review stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the FRQ I gave you last week, the one with Gestalt principles, and just go over that one. Hopefully help you guys understand what you missed, what we need to work on, and things like that. So, let's read it right here. A researcher designs a study to investigate the effect of feedback on perception of incomplete visual figures. Each participant stares at the center of a screen while the researcher briefly projects incomplete geometric figures one at a time at random positions on the screen. The participant's task is to identify each incomplete figure. One group of participants receives feedback on the accuracy of their responses. Second group does not. The researcher then compares the mean number of figures correctly identified by the two groups. And the first question, part A, identify the independent and dependent variables in the study. Most of you guys, when you were turning the FRQs in, nailed this part. Okay, the independent variable, what the researcher manipulates, or what the researcher changes in the experiment, is the feedback. One group got the feedback, that'd be the experimental group. The other group did not get the feedback. So that's your independent variable in that experiment, the feedback on whether they got it right. And then the dependent variable is always measuring the effect of the independent variable. In this case, the dependent variable is how many figures they got right. And like I said, most of you guys got that part right on. With the second part was a little more difficult, and I think it's stuff from the sensation and perception unit, which I'm going to share those review sessions this week. Unit 3, and the College Board is sending out the videos right now. But the identify the role of each of the following terms in the context of the research. The fovea, or foveal vision, remember, is the center point of the retina. So if we just kind of review vision really quick here, light enters through the pupil. The iris is the tiny muscle that expands and contracts around the pupil to control the size of the pupil. The lens behind the pupil reflects light onto the retina. The retina is where transduction takes place, and the fovea is that central focus point on the retina. So, it's also the place where the most cones are clustered. You think rods, which see black and white, are spread all the way through the retina, and a lot in the peripheral vision. Cones are clustered in the middle, so it's the most accurate part of our vision, the clearest part of our vision. That's the fovea. Okay, cones clustered around the fovea. Okay, so in this case, perhaps you'd say that because maybe you're not accurately seeing, because if you look at the question, it talks about kind of at random positions around the screen, so maybe the light isn't hitting your fovea accurately, or it isn't hitting the fovea right in the middle, so as a result, you're inaccurately seeing the shapes and pictures and things like that. Okay, or you would be able to see if a picture was right in the center and you looked at it head on, you'd be able to detect what it looked like. So there are a couple different ways you can answer the fovea question. How if we're not seeing it in the center of your retina and the fovea, you wouldn't be able to tell what the picture was. If you did see it in the center, light hit the fovea, then you would be able to tell. The second one, feature detectors. This is one that caused a little bit of confusion. Feature detectors are specialized cells in the occipital lobe that allow us to detect things like angles, shapes, contours, and things like that. So you needed to, like I said, most of you guys are doing define and apply. Most of you guys defined it okay. Application, again, we're looking at incomplete figures, so maybe the feature detectors would help you figure out, hey, that's not quite a triangle, or hey, that's not quite a circle, or it could, the opposite could be true as well. They could help you tell, okay, that's definitely a square, okay, because you can detect angles and shapes and lines and things like that. Gestalt principle of closure, most of you guys did fine on that one. Or Gestalt principle of closure, our brain's tendency to complete incomplete figures. So I hold my hands like that, and you somehow see a triangle, and that becomes the Gestalt principle of closure. So just the idea that your brain would complete the shapes even if they were incomplete shapes. So those are ways to approach a question like that. The last two, I think they've both shown up on previous FRQs we've done over the last few weeks. Describe how each of the following terms relates to the conclusions that can be based on the research, random assignment, and statistical significance. And with random assignment, remember, random assignment has to do with, are we putting them in the experimental group? Are we putting them in the control group? And there has to be a randomness to it. Each person is equally likely to be assigned to either the control group or the experimental group, and doing so reduces bias. So you have to talk about how random assignment reduces researcher bias, reduces participant bias, and makes the experiment more accurate. And the same thing goes with statistical significance. And then there's lots of terms out there to help you define statistical significance, but the main thing to focus on in AP Psych is that if it's statistically significant, that means the results cannot be due to chance. Okay, there's that p-value of 0.05, or the idea, margin of error, things like that. But if we were talking about statistical significance, it means the results are not due to luck, okay, or random occurrences. The results are, if they're statistically significant, they're not due to chance. Okay, so hopefully that helps, and we'll do this pretty much with every FRQ from this point on. You turn it into me, or you don't have one today, but you have one on Wednesday, you'll have one on Friday, and then the following day, give you some feedback, try to help you understand things we can work on to get better at these as we head to a month from tomorrow. So hope you're doing well. Hope your families are doing well. Hope you're coping okay. And we'll see you again tomorrow.